Who are you hoping is going to back the campaign of which this is the symbol?
Well, I hope, of course, a lot of people in my game, a lot of musicians, singers, musicians, will help us with the cause of not violence, and we're trying to get the message out to everybody, really. But we're always expressing it. We're trying to get teenagers to notice that this is a very violent situation, and it's very fast. That if you don't have one, you can't use it, and that would be better.
And you've said that music should stop youngsters turning to violence. Are you worried that young people today don't have the opportunities to make music that you had in your youth?
Well, I think they have all the opportunities we had. I don't know the question, really. When I started, you just had to have the instruments and you're in a band. It's a bit different now, where you really have to play.
So
but there's still lots of bands in garages, the garage band attitude, and trying and doing their best. No one you see just woke up and became Coldplay or whatever. They put some time in.
There's been a lot made of the fact that some of the rap lyrics glamorise violence. Do you think that's been overdone, or you think there is a problem there?
No, I think there are some of those lyrics, but of course, they said that about heavy metal, and they actually thought some of our pop songs were a bit violent, So there's always somebody who will feel that. But the expression in music is better than this expression.
Who are the musicians, in your view, giving peace a chance today? Who are the kind of Beatles of the 21st century?
Oh, I don't think there are any. Whoever's out there are their own, they used to try and say we were like the Marx Brothers, and we say, no, we're like the Beatles. And I think the new bands, whoever they are like themselves, not like us.
Well, it's a pretty seasonal message, isn't it? Peace and goodwill towards men.
Yeah.
And
women.
Exactly, and women. In that spirit, celebrities are being asked to give some of the money that they get from the government for winter fuel, the winter fuel payment, to charity, and it's something that even expats get. Yeah. And is this money that you would
Well,
give?
no, I don't get my pension.
What about the winter fuel payment?
I don't get the winter fuel payment,
but
I am entitled. I also do a bus pass. But last time I was on a bus was in Liverpool.
But would you give it away?
Well, yes, I would give it away. And, through the Lotus Foundation, Bob and I, we have a charity that we run that's our own. But yes, I think if you don't need it, give it to your neighbour, But take it from the government that way you've got it, and then give it to somebody. I think that's a much better way.
You don't speak to the media a great deal, and I wonder if some of the reason for that is the kind of things we're seeing coming out in the hacking inquiry.
I've never been hacked, and you can hack me anytime you're ready, okay?
Got no secrets?
No, it's like, I think it's disgusting that people were hacked. There's got to be some line that people draw.
And Paul McCartney was hacked?
Yeah, by me.
He didn't like it much.
No, it's as I say, it's disgusting and terrible, and I think, and we all believe that the papers, and I'm sure it wasn't only the newspaper, went too far.
Well, what about the future? I mean, have you got more collaborations with Paul McCartney coming up?
Well, no, we have no collaborations coming up, but when the moments arise, we get together.
Do you still recall the day that John Lennon died as if it were yesterday? Does it still haunt you?
Yes, I do. It doesn't haunt me, but it's still very clear in my mind that I was in the Bahamas. I was actually doing some work on a record I was making, and Barbara and we had a phone call from the children saying something's happened to John. And we said, well, what's happened? They didn't know. Anyway, they called back and they said, John's been shot and he's dead. It's a very strange time because your emotions are mad, you know what I mean? It just, you go all over the place. I mean, it's like, you don't believe it, but you have to believe it because it's a fact. But really, you don't want to believe it, and you sort of hold her at bay. Anyway, we got on a plane, we went to New York. We got to New York to see if we could help in any way. You don't know what you're doing. And the only way we could help, we got to the Dakota, and Yoko asked us to play with Sean, and that's what Bob and I did. And And then we got on a plane that night and we went to LA. And that's how we did it. And, you know, it's still, you know, I don't think of John every day, but it still comes up, and it would have been great if he was still here in my book and see what he was doing, see where he's at, maybe we'd play, whatever, we'd be friends, and, you know.
What do you think he'd say about this campaign?
I think he'd be sitting right where you are with me, and we'd be doing this. That's what I think.
Final question, just wonder what's on your iPod?
Everybody's on my iPod.
Very democratic. No favourites?
No, I mean, I like music, I love records, so, you know, I was being interviewed the other day and they said, oh, you must have listened to drummers. I never listened to drummers I mean, I heard them, but I listened to the whole record, which were made out of stone when I first heard them.
Of course.